World Bank freezes Ugandans' account after passing LGBT laws. Uganda, officially the Republic of Uganda, is a landlocked country in East Africa. The country is bordered to the east by Kenya, to the north by South Sudan, to the west by the Democratic Republic of the Congo, to the southwest by Rwanda, and the south by Tanzania. The southern part of the country includes a substantial portion of Lake Victoria, shared with Kenya and Tanzania. Uganda is in the African Great Lakes region, lies within the Nile basin, and has a varied but generally modified equatorial climate. As of 2023, it has a population of around 49.6 million, of which 8.5 million live in the capital and largest city of Kampala. Uganda is named after the Buganda kingdom, which encompasses a large portion of the south of the country, including the capital Kampala, and whose language Luganda is widely spoken throughout the country. From 1894, the area was ruled as a protectorate by the United Kingdom, which established administrative law across the territory. Uganda gained independence from the UK on 9 October 1962. The period since then has been marked by violent conflicts, including an 8-year-long military dictatorship led by Idi Amin. Their official language is English, although the constitution states that any other language may be used as a medium of instruction in schools or other educational institutions, or for legislative, administrative, or judicial purposes as may be prescribed by law. Luganda, a central region-based language, is widely spoken across the central and southeastern regions of the country, and several other languages are also spoken. In 2005, Swahili, which is foreign and so viewed as being neutral, was proposed as Uganda's second official language, but this has yet to be ratified by Parliament. However, in 2022, Uganda decided to make Swahili a mandatory subject in the school curriculum. Uganda's current president is Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who took power in January 1986 after a protracted 6-year guerrilla war. Following constitutional amendments that removed term limits for the president, he was able to stand and was elected president in the 2011, 2016, and 2021 general elections. Uganda is home to a vast number of species, including a population of mountain gorillas in the Bwindi Impenetrable National Park, gorillas and golden monkeys in the Mvehinga Gorilla National Park, and hippos in the Murchison Falls National Park. Jackfruit can also be found throughout the country. The country had a 2019 Forest Landscape Integrity Index mean score of 4.36 on 10, ranking it 128th globally out of 172 countries. In 2007, a newspaper, The Red Pepper, published a list of allegedly gay men, many of whom suffered harassment as a result. On 9 October 2010, the Ugandan newspaper Rolling Stone published a front-page article titled 100 Pictures of Uganda's Top Homos Leak that listed the names, addresses, and photographs of 100 homosexuals, alongside a yellow banner that read, "Hang them." The paper also alleged homosexual recruitment of Ugandan children. The publication attracted international attention and criticism from human rights organizations, such as Amnesty International, No Peace Without Justice, and the International Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Trans, and Intersex Association. According to gay rights activists, many Ugandans have been attacked since the publication. On 27 January 2011, gay rights activist David Kato was murdered. In 2009, the Ugandan parliament considered an anti-homosexuality bill, which would have broadened the criminalization of homosexuality by introducing the death penalty for people who have previous convictions or are HIV positive and engage in same-sex sexual acts. The bill included provisions for Ugandans who engage in same-sex sexual relations outside of Uganda, asserting that they may be extradited back to Uganda for punishment, and included penalties for individuals, companies, media organizations, or non-governmental organizations that support legal protection for homosexuality or sodomy. On 14 October 2009, MP David Bahati submitted the private member's bill, and was believed to have had widespread support in the Uganda parliament. The hacktivist group Anonymous hacked into Ugandan government websites in protest of the bill. In response to global condemnation, the debate of the bill was delayed, but it was eventually passed on 20 December 2013, and President Museveni signed it on 24 February 2014. The death penalty was dropped in the final legislation. The law was widely condemned by the international community. Denmark, the Netherlands, and Sweden said they would withhold aid. On 28 February 2014, the World Bank said it would postpone a $90 million loan, while the United States said it was reviewing ties with Uganda. On 1 August 2014, the Constitutional Court of Uganda ruled the bill invalid as it was not passed with the required quorum. A 13 August 2014 news report said that the Ugandan Attorney General had dropped all plans to appeal, per a directive from President Museveni, who was concerned about foreign reaction to the bill, and who also said that any newly introduced bill should not criminalize same-sex relationships between consenting adults. As of 2019, progress on the African continent was slow, but progressing, with South Africa being the only country where same-sex marriages are recognized. March 9, 2023, as Suman Basalowa, a member of parliament since 2018 from the opposition representing Bujiri municipality on Justice Forum party ticket, tabled a proposed law which seeks out to castigate gay sex and the promotion or recognition of such relations. And he made remarks that, in this country, or in this world, we talk about human rights. But it is also true that there are human wrongs. I want to submit that homosexuality is a human wrong that offends the laws of Uganda and threatens the sanctity of the family, the safety of our children, and the continuation of humanity through reproduction. The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, referred the bill to a House committee for scrutiny, the first step in an accelerated process to pass the proposal into law. The Parliament Speaker had earlier noted that, "We want to appreciate our promoters of homosexuality for the social-economic development they have brought to the country," in reference to Western countries and donors. "But we do not appreciate the fact that they are killing morals. We do not need their money, we need our culture." During a prayer service held in Parliament and attended by several religious leaders, the Speaker vowed to pass the bill into law at whatever cost to shield Uganda's culture and its sovereignty. On March 21, 2023, Parliament rapidly passed the anti-homosexuality bill with overwhelming support. The Ugandan Parliament passed a bill that would make identifying as homosexual punishable by life in prison and the death penalty for anyone found guilty of aggravated homosexuality. The United States strongly condemned the bill. During a White House press briefing on March 22, 2023, Karine Jean-Pierre stated, "Human rights are universal. No one should be attacked, imprisoned, or killed simply because of who they are or whom they love." In the following days, further criticism came from the United Kingdom, Canada, Germany, and the European Union. Recently, the World Bank passed an announcement saying they will freeze new loans to Uganda because of the country's vicious anti-LGBT+ law. They said they would halt new lending to the Ugandan government after concluding that its anti-LGBTQ law, which has been condemned by many countries and the United Nations, contradicts the bank's values. In response, the East African country dismissed the move as unjust and hypocritical. A World Bank team traveled to Uganda immediately after the law was enacted in May and determined that additional measures were needed to ensure projects were being implemented in line with the bank's environmental and social standards. The bank added in a statement, "No new public financing to Uganda will be presented to our Board of Executive Directors until the efficacy of the additional measures has been tested," adding that such measures were now under discussion with Ugandan authorities. Uganda's Anti-Homosexuality Act fundamentally contradicts the World Bank Group's values. "We believe our vision to eradicate poverty on a livable planet can only succeed if it includes everyone irrespective of race, gender, or sexuality," the bank said. "We remain committed to helping all Ugandans, without exception, escape poverty, access vital services, and improve their lives. World Bank President Ajay Banga, who took office in June after the Ugandan law was enacted, has come under pressure to respond to the Ugandan law. On June 15, 170 civic groups urged Banga to take specific, concrete, and timely actions in response to the Uganda anti-LGBTQ law, including suspending future lending. Uganda's State Minister for Foreign Affairs, Okello Oryem, accused the bank of hypocrisy, saying they were lending to countries in the Middle East and Asia that have the same or harsher laws on homosexuality, which was quite true. He said there are many Middle East countries who do not tolerate homosexuals. They actually hang and execute homosexuals. In the United States of America, many states have passed laws that are either against or restrict activities of homosexuality. So why pick on Uganda? The World Bank has been put under pressure by the usual imperialists, he added. The World Bank had provided $5.4 billion in International Development Association financing to Uganda by the end of 2022, including many health and education projects that could be affected by the new law. The existing portfolio will continue to disburse funds, even as new lending is put on hold, a World Bank source said. Private sector projects backed by the International Finance Corporation, IFC, and the Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, MIGA, would proceed only on a selective basis. It said the IFC and MIGA would also implement additional measures to ensure inclusion and non-discrimination as need be. The Bank of Uganda is the central bank of Uganda and handles monetary policy along with the printing of the Ugandan shilling. The country has been experiencing consistent economic growth. In fiscal year 2015-16, Uganda recorded gross domestic product growth of 4.6% in real terms and 11.6% in nominal terms. This compares to 5.0% real growth in fiscal year 2014-15. The country has largely untapped reserves of both crude oil and natural gas. While agriculture accounted for 56% of the economy in 1986, with coffee as its main export, it has now been surpassed by the services sector, which accounted for 52% of GDP in 2007. In the 1950s, the British colonial regime encouraged some 500,000 subsistence farmers to join cooperatives. Since 1986, the government, with the support of foreign countries and international agencies, has acted to rehabilitate an economy devastated during the regime of Idi Amin and the subsequent civil war. In 2012, the World Bank still listed Uganda on the heavily indebted poor countries list. Economic growth has not always led to poverty reduction. Despite an average annual growth of 2.5% between 2000 and 2003, poverty levels increased by 3.8% during that time. This has highlighted the importance of avoiding jobless growth and is part of the rising awareness in development circles of the need for equitable growth, not just in Uganda, but across the developing world. Uganda is one of the poorest nations in the world. In 2012, 37.8% of the population lived on less than $1.25 a day. Despite making enormous progress in reducing the countrywide poverty incidence from 56% of the population in 1992 to 24.5% in 2009, poverty remains deep-rooted in the country's rural areas, which are home to 84% of Ugandans. Therein, the central bank freezing loans for them is quite a big deal for Ugandans. Despite all these aid threats, President Yoweri Museveni says signing is done. Nobody will move Uganda. Will they succeed to keep one of the harshest laws in the world for long? Will they break if many more threats keeps coming in? Keep your comments flowing, like, comment, share, and don't forget to subscribe.